John.
Tim.
We're in the gorge this time, man.
Yeah,
We're here with Chris Sayre, the founder, inventor, innovator of Freedom Foil boards. This guy makes boards that rock. We know, you and I know, and I think Chris does too, that we love the whip. We've been riding the heck out of this thing, but we're about to show you the newness of 2022. Shh, don't tell, because it's not out yet. Chris, what do you think about with the 2022 whip? What changes did you make? What has changed here?
So stoked to be with you guys. Love the Half-Life crew. Love what you guys do. We're stoked to be with you. The 2022 whip, we went production. So we're building these things better than we were building them before. New materials, new carbon. The core is different. The boards just basically got better. They got a little bit lighter. All of our boards are now coming with deck pads and inserts. So it's all stock right out the gate with deck pad and inserts.
Okay, and is the deck pad, when you say that, is the deck pad coming on like this, or are we still putting it on for people?
Yeah, when you get the board, the deck pad's gonna be on. So you'll unwrap this thing, it's gonna, right there, the only piece it's not gonna be on is this pump bump piece.
Okay.
So that's one of the ones you can go flat if you want to strap in, or if you want the pump bump and you don't like straps, then people use that a lot.
Remember that, Johnny? The pumps, the humps. It's all about, do you like the pumps, do you like the humps?
The lumps. It's nice being here with Chris Sayre, the foil player. We love the Freedom boards. The whip is probably my personal towing favorite.
Yeah.
It's light, it's stiff, does everything really well. And this is cool because a lot of times, Tim, we're in the garage and we've got all these deck pads.
Yeah, you got a lot of deck pads.
And sometimes I get confused. I put the tail in the front and the front in the tail, and then I gotta use.
Just give us something to do when we're having a couple of beers.
Yeah, but that's true.
So this board's unbelievable. It's awesome. You have all kinds of options here for your foot straps to be able to put them in. This board in the air, because it's narrow, this is narrower than some of the other boards we ride. And it's also 3'7". Is it still 3'7"?
Yeah, the board, actually, the whip is one of the few boards that we didn't change a whole lot on for 2022. Okay. The shape, the deck, the only thing that changed is the way we built it. It's like the core is better, the high density block's better.
Okay. But it's still all carbon, so it's still
carbon's
stiff.
Better. We're using stiffer carbon. It absorbs less resin. So the boards have gotten a little bit lighter and a little bit stiffer.
Nice.
So everything's gotten a little bit better. And this is one of those boards, we liked it so much, we're like, let's just leave it alone.
Yeah, nice, because we love this thing too. And it's the stiffness that gives you really efficient energy transfer when you go to pump. And so if you're stealing waves, if you're doing ladder transitions, if you're doing other things where you want to be pumping for a sustained period of time, stiffness with the carbon is fantastic. This is the whip 2022. Thank you, Chris. I love this thing.
Let's go.
All right, let's sing. What is going on for wing foiling?
So we have our Wingnut, which is totally redesigned. The 2022 Wingnut is different than what we were selling before. This board's come in production too, just like all of our boards. So the price is dropping. We'll let you know what that's gonna be, but it's getting cheaper. But that doesn't mean the quality has gotten less. The quality of everything we're doing has gotten better. This is how the board's gonna show up out of the box. You're gonna unwrap this thing. It's got a deck pad, it's got foot straps, it's got the same carbon we're using for all of our boards. It's called double bias carbon. Stuff's insane. The boards are all double vacuum bagged, so they're really light.
Okay.
I don't have the exact weight on these boards, but when you pick them up, you know this thing's just like Freedom light.
Yeah, nice.
It's one of the things we like pride ourselves on, is making light boards that are really strong. So we got the quad channels on the bottom, and I'm gonna give credit to Rick Isabel, as the owner of Tavarua. He's the one who helped me with this bottom design.
Really?
And he's one of our feet on the ground soldiers for Freedom, and he helped me design this quad channel bottom design for winging specifically, because it's on our other boards we have double concaves, and the whole thought is you disperse the water when the board hits the ground and it releases quicker. You're not getting all that friction.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with the quad, but you get more volume. You're not losing all the volume of a big double. So you have these tiny little quad channels, and it's the same thing. Just hit the bottom and then release.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And then what's the thinking with the cutout in the back?
Same thing. It's just all about avoiding water and also reflecting water. So like nice sharp edges on all the corners, and then you can see this kind of tapered bottom edge kind of comes in more. You can kind of see it on the paint edge too. So we got a tapered bottom seam that kind of comes in towards the deck. But yeah, everything's kind of like the tail has a little bit of a tiny step so that the water doesn't just roll down. Hopefully just as you pop up, it falls away.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Handle in the bottom, that feels great. All right. And then if we step into the world of prone. Now
Techno.
this world of prone, of all the foil disciplines, I would say Johnny's favorite is the world of prone. My favorite, I think it's the world of prone too. I love the connection, being able to paddle in the water and everything.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're looking at this board here, you know, look at that. Signed by the guy I'm standing next to. Right, tell us about this board.
So the Techno, the Techno is, this is our bread and butter board. This is our, I would call it almost our entry level board now, because we've gotten so much more advanced in our designs, but it's still an amazing board. It's the only board that we're gonna be selling out of the production without inserts. So we want this to be our lightest board available. So for guys that don't want inserts, and like, I don't want them, I'm not interested in them, this is gonna be a great board for you, because the inserts add weight, right? So you're gonna get like,
really think about that, but that
you're
makes
gonna
sense.
gain about a pound of weight if you want inserts in your board. So if you want light, you want that board's gonna pop up and fly, you're not worried about inserts, the Techno's gonna be perfect for you.
Nice, nice. It looks like with this, you got a double concave on the bottom.
Yeah, we reduced the double a little bit, so there's a little less double. We sharpened our edges of the rails a little bit too, to just help water kind of reflect and not roll. We put the leash plug on the bottom.
Ooh, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, something different we're doing, and I'm gonna give Surf Doc Steve. He's my boy.
Surf Doc Steve, huh?
Surf Doc. That's his claim to fame. He's always wearing leashes, and he was like, you know, the leash plug on the bottom, it helps keep that thing from getting tangled around your ankle. So we're like, hey, let's do it. We've heard that from a lot of people. It's like, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's put them on the bottom. And so yeah, Surf Doc's my man.
Yeah.
That's his deal.
All right. Well,
Surf Doc Steve, thanks for the innovation. Maybe
Surf Doc Steve, good work.
Maybe you can come up with Surf Doc. You can come up with a little grip that doesn't hinder performance. So when I'm stuck on the shallow reef, I can just turn it over, paddle out to safety. I don't know if that would work too well.
The doctor.
But this is sweet. This is refined. It looks like it's just nice and refined.
Thanks.
This is gonna work.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
really
you ride these things. Lo and behold, Chris is making them better and better for us.
That's our goal. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so if we want inserts,
so
if we're hitting that wave lip, want to pop a little air, it's not me right now.
Me neither. Not me either.
You know, on the wing and behind the boat, yes. In the ocean, no. I'm staying firmly attached. But this is, oh man, look at these foot straps. Tell us a little bit about the foot strap first.
Cool.
That looks pretty cool.
We're proud of our foot straps, man. We like relentless innovation. That's what it's all about, right? Just making things better. So we're coming out, now that I kind of have a team of guys helping me, we came out with our own foot straps, and we have engineers, designers who helped build these things. They're ergonomic, they're really light. They're called Freedom Air Straps. And the whole thing with foot straps when you're proning is you want these things to like fold down and be soft and light underneath you, but then when you're done paddling, you stand up and you want them to pop up.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of these things, is we put these little cutouts in there so they fold down, but then the second you stand up, they pop up and your feet can slide in. And they're really light.
Nice.
So those are the Freedom Air Straps. We're stoked. I think people are gonna really like those. I strap in when I'm towing. If I'm proning, I'm not really strapped, but I like towing with straps. It's good.
If you're proning in your strap, Freedom has a program. If you're over, I don't know, I'd say 30 years of age, you can register for their website. You say, I'm gonna prone with straps, and they hook you up with an orthopedic surgeon. So, no, I'm just joking.
Just kidding.
On the house.
These straps are the best straps, in my opinion. I haven't used them yet, but I'm gonna use them soon. Super light, super easy, and super easy on the chest. I have paddled with straps, and then I get out of the ocean, I got a divot in my chest. So I don't think that's gonna happen with these.
Yep, Brian Finch was our guy who was helping really test these for us, prototype them, and Teo Eli a little bit too, and they love them. They're gonna be popular.
Nice.
So you're holding it, do you wanna talk about the Fusion?
Oh yeah, sorry.
So this is our new board. This is, I'm really stoked about this board. This thing, we've been riding this thing for about probably 6 months now, and the feedback has been insane. People love it. This is a brand new board for 2022. It's the Freedom Foil Boards Fusion. So the outline is definitely like volume forward, so you can paddle really well for us old guys that like to paddle and catch waves, that we're not pumping our heads off all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to paddle and catch. This board's going to be your board. It's a little bit thinner than what we've been going with, like the Rubix and the Techno, and a little bit narrower and a little bit longer. So it's kind of like that paddle style, longer, more surface area on the water. This is going to be a good board for you. Tail's still nice and narrow, so you can kind of avoid that contact on your carves, but definitely a paddle machine. Nice clean rails, have a little bit of curve in the rails and sharp edges. We're happy with this board. We love it. We think it's going to be one of our best sellers, and stoked to get it out to everyone.
That's awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about the, you know, the tail on this. When you say it tapers back, and the thought there is that as you come in to make a turn, either way, you're reducing the amount of space back there so you don't accidentally catch that corner.
Yep, and also it also is more responsive. So it's just a little, that narrowness and the thinness gives you the responsive feel that you want in a board as you're carving. It's just like the wider you go, the more stable it is, but the little bit, the less responsive. So narrower goes more responsive, more zippy, and it also avoids water.
Gotcha. And so if we look at this versus the last board that we had.
Oh, the Techno?
Yeah, the Techno. So if we compare the Fusion to the Techno, what type of rider should choose which board?
So I mean, the Techno has got a little bit more thickness to it. It's going to be a good paddling board, but it might not quite be as responsive or as, you know, nimble as this board. So if you're learning, you can learn on this board, but probably this is going to be a better board if you're
Techno for the learners.
If you're ready to step into something that's like a little bit more advanced, a little bit more responsive, then the Fusion's going to be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start here. Step up to the Fusion.
Yep.
And then Johnny, I'm going to give you that.
All right.
We have the Rubix, not the Rubik's Cube, John. The Rubix board, and you actually own one of these.
I own one, and this is one of the most annoying boards to me. The reason why it's annoying is because when I see guys out in the lineup on the Rubix, I know they're going to catch a ton of waves, and I know they're going to pump super fast. So who are we talking about? Our buddy out there in Maui, the green Rubix.
Oh, Dean Christner, yeah.
So Dean, this is a shout out to you. Dean, you're out in the lineup, and even though I love you, Dean, it's annoying because when you're on this board, you catch more waves than anybody, and then you pump and reconnect. So sometimes I'm like, oh no, there's a Rubix in the water, so I'm gonna have a tough session because those guys on the Rubix catch lots of waves.
I like it.
They foil super well. I love my Rubix that I have just because it's super solid.
Yeah, it's my favorite board to fly still too. I love the Rubix. These are all insane, but this is still my go-to. But this is the 2022. We've changed it a little bit. We've done some changes. It looks the same from a distance, but when you get close, we added a little bit of volume in the tail. So we booted this out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And what that does is it just gives you a little more flotation, so you're not paddling like this as much. You're more like that.
Yeah.
And we kind of everything was just kind of modified, toned down some of the curvature a little bit, but everything still flows nice and smooth. We toned down the double concave a little bit. The rails are still nice and curved, so you can grip them. If you're duck diving or if you're, you know, doing a grab rail or something, you have a nice rail to grab onto. And we removed the step on the deck. So there's the Techno, you can see it has this little step in the deck here.
Right.
That's designed to give the board strength and rigidity as you're pumping, to give an extra dynamic of strength, but it also can be kind of a hindrance sometimes when you're pushing yourself up. And if you want, I just feel like a flatter deck around the rails was a little bit more comfortable in your hand.
Right.
So we went with that change, and yeah, I love it. The 2022 Rubix, same sizes, same board, same specs on the boards. We just did a couple modifications to help make it paddle a little bit better, a little more user-friendly. Gotcha.
And so, again, we'll do the same thing. If we're gonna take these boards, we already had the Techno that was a little bit more of a beginner intermediate board. Step up to the Fusion.
Yeah.
And then the Rubix, if you're really ready to rip.
Yeah, I mean, the Rubix is, so the way I would look at it like this: if you're gonna plan on doing more paddling, than pumping, then I would look to the Fusion, because this board's gonna maybe even paddle better than this.
Okay.
It's just designed to be a little bit longer, and what I tell people, like most people think it's all about liters, and it's actually all about liters and surface area of board on the water, right? So it's like, you look at big wave surfers that have a longer board, and if you're doing a lot more paddling, you realize it's not just liters, it's actually float and volume on the surface of the board. So this board is designed to be a little bit longer and paddle better. This board is designed to ride a little bit shorter and pump really good, paddle well.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
I'm always telling people, if you want a board to paddle well, go with the Fusion. If you want that, you're going to be doing more pumping and paddling, maybe look at the Rubix.
There you go.
So if John's making me paddle out at Ka'a in Maui, I'm gonna take the Fusion.
Take the Fusion,
Because
yeah.
that's a long paddle for me.
Well, for
man.
Tim, do you make them in an 8-foot or 9-foot paddle? That would help him out there.
Hey, we do customs all day. We'll custom build the heck out of a board for you.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more. Pink,
Pink
is
is
punk.
Pink is punk.
Foil,
Yeah.
foil the world. What is this board all about?
So Brian's been loyal to Freedom since day one. That guy and I go back from the beginning, and so what better way to reward friends than to give them their own pro model, right?
Yeah.
So Brian Finch, this is his pro model board. He's got 2 sizes for 2022. This is the board he got his cover shot on. Floating Magazine. He just came out yesterday.
Nice.
He's a proud man. That was like
Congratulations.
Brian Finch.
birthday,
you
Christmas,
rip.
Easter, all in one day, right?
That's awesome.
So Brian's board, he's all about connecting to the wave and doing surf carves and like actually throwing up spray, like hitting the wave
Oh,
like a
really?
surfboard.
Yeah.
And so that's what his board, he wanted a board where he can, when he connects to the wave, it feels like a surfboard,
Right.
but it flies like a foil board. So
Yeah.
all the rails are kind of designed to like mimic maybe like a tail of a surfboard. Really, really fine, sharp edges. Not a lot of like taper in the rails here on the bottom. So paddles really good, surfs really good, flies really good, pumps good, and not a lot of contour on the bottom too. He just wants that board to like hit the wave and just kind of just blend right in with the wave, and no contours to cause any problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's all about the pink, man. So we got a pink board for him.
I love it.
Brian, thanks for your input on this. I imagine you after a session sitting on the beach, you know, maybe looking up at the sky, and then it came to you and you said, you know, I need a board that's simple, that's refined.